Welcome back everybody, this is Holliedazzle and today we're going to make a tinsel boa. Here is a list of the supplies you will need: 2 to 6 boas, scissors, coordinating ribbon, and a lighter if your ribbon needs to be the kind that is sealed on the ends with a little bit of heat. So I'm just going through visually all those supplies here: the tinsel boas, coordinating ribbon. It helps if the ribbon is like shiny or sparkly, it'll help it blend in better. And there's your lighter and your scissors. So pretty basic supplies, not too tough. A lot of times you can get these boas on clearance at the end of a season. I got these at Michael's after Christmas. And first step is you lay them all out together, and just depending on how thick you want your boa to end up is how many boas you'll use. That's why I put 2 to 6. So it's your choice how dense of a boa you want to have. I tend to go for about 4 or 5 myself. That's what I prefer. And here I am just sealing the ends of my ribbon. And you start simply by tying the boas together. I tie them twos by twos, so one to another in bunches of 2s, and then tie the 2 that are tied together to the other 2 that are tied together. You'll see that process as I go. I don't tie them at the very end together. I go in a little ways, but again, this is totally up to you how you want your boa to turn out, what kind of density and texture you want it to have, how much you want it to move, if you want spaces in between the boas where you can slip your arms. That just depends on how many places it's tied together tightly. So you go through and tie it, and then you have to kind of pull the pieces of tinsel up from underneath the ribbon that you tied around it, because they get kind of stuck underneath. So you fluff up around it a bit just to hide the ribbon, trim the ribbon off, and then you have to be careful if you need to seal the edges of the ribbon you trimmed, that you don't light your whole boa on fire. A little bit of a risk there, so be careful, be careful. Just kind of butts with the ribbon. Make sure it's nice and hidden, that there's not big chunks of missing tinsel where the ribbon is tied in the boa, so you pull it out from under there and fluff it and zhuzh it, and you just keep on going just like that. So you just keep working down the length of the boa and tying it together, and then eventually you bring in your other 2 boas and repeat the whole process with them, and then you tie the 2 boas to the 2 boas by repeating the same process with the ribbon, just finding places where it gaps and tying it together. So it kind of goes back and forth. It's not a perfect linear process. It's almost like a sculpture that you're creating with these boas. And you just work along and tie pieces together until you don't have the gaps that you don't want. talking about gaps, this is what I mean right here. When you pick up the boa and there's two boas or two boas and one boa that pull away from each other, that's where you would want to pull it together and tie that together. And just keep repeating that until you don't have gaps in your boa. And then at the end, when it's all tied together, there it is, all finished up, ready to perform and rehearse with. Like I said, there'll be little gaps here and there in between. It's got a really nice weight to it. It's a little bit noisy, so you do have to be able to kind of enjoy the white noise that a tinsel boa makes. There's those little gaps you can use to put your arms through it. In one of my acts, when I put my arms through those and shake my shoulders, the audience always claps. It's really funny. It's like a little stupid human trick. And they love it. They love it. And I discovered it by accident when I was rehearsing one day. Didn't even do it on purpose. Just like Bob Ross said, happy little accidents, right? So that is how to make a tinsel boa. If you have any questions for me, please send me an email. Otherwise, enjoy. Take care, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.